This is going to go through a walking drill to progress someone from a lot of support to less support. And it's going to use a band for some resistance to make it a little bit more challenging. So this is a great one for patients that have issues with standing and walking endurance, to give them a way to practice and get better at it. So I start with 2 supports. Could be 2 broomsticks, 2 canes, could be a cane and a countertop. And I have a band around my foot that I would usually at home have anchored around like a leg of a couch or a leg of a table, something sturdy. I step out to where I feel a little bit of tension on the band, and I start with these 2 posts out in front of my lead foot. Okay? Now the first thing I look at here is I want to drive the post down into the ground, and by pressing down that helps me to engage my stomach, and you'll see instead of my butt being kicked out like this, it helps me to pull my hips underneath me. So I'm standing tall with that downward pressure, pulling my shoulders away from my ears. It helps me to engage some stability in my trunk. Now I start off here creating this downward pressure, and then I slowly step forward and put weight on that foot, and then I press down again, and I slowly step back. So I start off in a short range of motion that I'm able to control. I want that step to be as slow as possible, and I want to make sure when I go to lift that foot off the ground, I don't lose that tension in my stomach and start to do something like this, right? Or start to do something like that. So I really use the post to engage my stomach, which helps me keep my abdominals working with my leg. So first, a short motion. Now if that's fine, I want to take a longer stride. So it's the same, press down into the post, see if I can step a little bit further, and here I give myself a little break, and then I press down again, and I step into a deeper step back. So I'm trying to get that motion to be as big as possible, but still controlled. I don't want to step so far that I start getting sloppy with my speed or sloppy with my form. Okay, so I stay in a range that I can control. Now, if that's all going well, the next step from this would be to take a post away. So I would take away the post that does not have a band on the foot. So band's on my right foot, so I still have my right post. I start with my right foot behind. Now, since this hand is free, I'm going to move it like I'm walking. So if my right leg is behind me, my left hand is behind me. I drive down into this post, and I go through the same progression. Small step to start. As long as I'm able to control it, I can take a bigger step. You'll notice that I really try and make sure that my left hand and my right foot are moving at the same speed and through the same amount of motion. I drive down as I pull forward into that step. I drive down as I go back. Okay? So this will be the next progression, small step progressing towards a bigger step. Now from here, I'm eventually going to want to take this post completely away. So even here, I can start to press down a little less. I can go to like a couple fingertips. See if I can still keep some tension in my stomach, but without this external cue of the post, right? So I still want to think about controlling my pelvis as I move forward, but I'm not really relying on this post pressure to make that happen. I'm just doing it as a, more of an intrinsic thing that I think about, engage my stomach and pull my foot forward. Because then from here, obviously taking both posts away is going to be the greatest challenge. So I still want to move my arms, both arms now, since it's not tied to a post, like I'm walking. So it's a little bit of an exaggerated motion, but when I walk, this is really how my body should function, right? My left hand and my right foot are somewhat connected in their motion, moving at the same speed and the same distance. And I'm trying to make sure in the same way I do it slow and controlled. You'll see, I even let my foot, as I come back, maybe drag on the ground a little, so I'm not inclined to let it snap back too quickly. So it's a nice way to work on stability in a walking position, going from a lot of support to gradually less, but maintaining the same amount of control.